Okay. So I'm going to record. Right. So the next voice you hear will be my spirit friends. Now, please do talk to them. They're not high and mighty. They don't sit on a throne with a crown on, being all important. They like to talk to you. All right. So it isn't all look at us, we're amazing guides. So if you wanted that, I'm afraid you might be disappointed. Okay. It's a loving experience. I look forward to it greatly. Okay. Right. I'll shut up. Next voice will be theirs. Okay. Well, actually, I say I'll shut up. I'm just going to do an opening prayer. I like to set my intention. Great and divine spirit, my dear spirit friends, it's wonderful that we have the opportunity to work together this evening and that so many people have taken time out of their lives to join us. I know that the questions that will be asked will be important to the people that ask them. And we ask also that the energy that is shared freely amongst us, from us and to us, is given with the motivation of unconditional love. And that we share that love, and we feel that love, and we become part of a loving experience. And I leave this evening in the care of those who guide me. Amen. Okay. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, that happened last time. Crikey. Hmm. Hmm. Well, once more, my friends, we find ourselves joining together, part of this gathering of the physical and the spiritual realms. Myself without the body, and you still with that means of physical expression, still able to feel Mother Earth under your feet, to feel the wind blowing against your face, to feel the warmth of the sun and the cleansing of the rain. And how often do you truly sit back and think what a great privilege you have to experience the cleansing of the rain or the cooling of the wind, the warming of the sun, and to look out and to see the beauty of Mother Earth, she who, in a manner of speaking, gave birth to you, provides food and shelter. But I would say that quite often we do not truly appreciate what we have until it is gone. We do not appreciate the beauty and the shading of the leaves as we sit under the boughs of a tree until they have been cut down for housing to take their place, or a road to go across the land. And then we would maybe shout and say, "Why do you remove the tree?" When it is gone, you miss it. You love it with retrospect. But shouldn't you love it while it is there? Shouldn't you look at the beauty of those leaves in the springtime? Admire how they glisten in the sun, how their branches may provide a home for the birds and the insects, how they may provide you with shelter under the hot sun or from the rains, how in the autumn time they may give you fruit. It is easy to overlook what is simple. A tree is simple. It stands there. It experiences life in its own unique way. All that it asks for is to be treated with kindness, Do you consider that the tree is conscious? Or do you think maybe that humanity itself is the only intelligent consciousness that you share your life with? My feeling is that you know that you are not unique in being conscious. That maybe there are the four-legged living within your home right at this very minute. They are conscious. They know you. They love you. But what of the tree? Underneath the ground, the trees communicate. They speak to each other, not with a language that you would understand, but they speak nonetheless. They are aware of their presence. They know what they need to survive, and they take it from the ground. When danger is detected, they speak to each other. Isn't that wonderful? That the trees speak to each other with a sense of community, that they understand that they are stronger together. How wonderful. That's something that seems so passive, that might live for 1,000 years or more. It understands its place. It has a purpose. And so do you. Many times in the work that we do with the boy, people say, I do not know what to do. What is my path? What should my journey say to me? Where should it take me? And maybe, if you truly feel what your heart is saying to you, you will be able to answer that question with ease. Who are you looking to fulfill? Do you want to fulfill your family or your friends? Do you want to fulfill your colleagues or those who may come to watch you work? Do you want to fulfill those who guide you? Or do you think about fulfilling yourself? It would be a great shame indeed if you experienced your life's journey and you only ever thought about fulfilling the needs of others. And you may say, well, surely I should be of service. And I would say, yes, but to yourself first. A person that does not fully embrace what makes their heart sing is slowly allowing their purpose to fade into history. If you do not think about what fulfills you, You may not wake up in the morning with that sense of purpose, that sense of belonging somewhere. It seems to us sometimes that we watch you wake from your slumber, and as we see it happen, it is like your eyes are half closed, and you are fixed into this journey where you do not have the intention to turn left or right. You just keep walking one step after another, doing what you have always done. And we feel that sense of emptiness within some of you, because you're thinking about what is good for everyone else. Now, do not misunderstand. We are not saying do not take your responsibilities with all due respect that they deserve. We are saying that you come to us and you say, Spirit World, how may I serve you? And we would say, dear friend, how may you serve yourself? I hope you see the reason that I would speak on this matter. Because ultimately, you are concerned with yourself and your own happiness. And that is not the sign of an egotist. That is the sign of someone that takes their life and the expression of it seriously. To know what you want isn't a fault or a crime. But to not know is much closer. There are only so many sunrises and sunsets that you will see. So the next time you see one, wake up, enjoy the view, and have an idea about how you may serve yourself. And then that joy will be in your heart. You will feel your purpose rising to the surface, like the sun emerging from the darkness of night and bringing light into a new day. That is what you are doing with your own life. And you may say, well, my best years are behind me. But how much time do you need to make a difference? Just listening to someone or saying a dozen words of kindness, and your life has meaning. Allowing someone to know that you hear them, that you are listening. Do not underestimate the power of that deed. Now, my friend June, would you like to ask our guests questions for me?
Yes, I will. Thank you. So, has anyone any questions that they'd like to ask the guides, please? If so, can you raise your hands or wave at me so that I see you? Oh, we've got a few raised hands. So the first one I see is Cindy. Would you like to unmute yourself, Cindy, please? Ask your question.
Thank you. I am curious with regards to mediumship, what's the most important next step for me?
Hmm. Your own journey, my friend. Well, I would say, did you listen to the last 10 minutes?
I had a feeling you were going to reflect back on that. Yes,
Hmm.
I did.
But look, joking aside, my friend, many times people ask us this question, and many times we give the same answer. And that is not to say that there is no discernment. But let me say, my friend, what makes your heart sing? What fills your heart with a sense of gladness and anticipation? If I was to be able to click my fingers like a magic genie and say, so it is, what would you have me do?
I am not sure.
Well, so if you are not sure, in the way that I could click my fingers and grant you a wish, and what makes you think that my answer will fulfill your wishes?
I guess I was just looking for a little guidance on the
Well,
next step.
my friend, though, let us talk quite frankly. You must come into this journey with a sense of what you would like to achieve on a personal level and on the level of being of service to others, yes?
Yes.
Now, you may wish to have spiritual development for the purposes of, let us say, enhancing your ability to perceive spirit for your own means. And that is fine. Maybe there are ways in which you can be of service to yourself by working with us to share the words of spirit. Maybe there are times where someone comes to you for guidance and they say, I am grieving. I miss my husband, my wife, my mother. And you are able to communicate in such a way that you start to remove an aspect of that grief. You start to give a sense of survival and evidence that would show that that grief is a normal human feeling, but it is temporary. And it is temporary because you can show that those that they grieve for are as alive as they ever were. They are 100 times more alive than they ever were. But maybe you'd say, I do not find solace in doing such things, but I want to allow the power of spirit to express itself through me. So maybe you see your path more as being a healing vessel to allow that power of spirit to work through you, where you remove that intense feeling of judgment as you know someone looks into your eyes to ask for answers. But you can be just as effective by saying, I make myself a channel for spirit to work through me. Not because of me, but through me. Maybe you see your skills, and I would say that there is a propensity, my friend. And I would also say that you have already gone down a path of exploring healing modalities. And then maybe there are future avenues that are open to you. How do you feel about those things, my friend?
I would say all the above. I just want to help people as much as I can in whatever capacity that I'm able to.
There we go. So it seems that we are not so far from shedding light upon your journey as maybe it seems. So really, the fact that you validated that we see potential within these aspects means that already at some level you know what you want, but maybe you are looking for an external voice to say, we see you, and that we agree with your propositions. Do you think that is fair, my friend?
Yes.
There we go. So good luck on your journey, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
One
question.
thing that we must also say before we finish, my friend, whatever way you express yourself with spirit, do it with love. Fill your heart with love as you look into the eyes of those you work with. Do it with a sense of love. You know that feeling that you'd have for your own children or for the animals that you care for. You would look at them and you want nothing but their love and their happiness. You want them to be okay. Look at all of your clients in the same way, and you start to realize that we are not all so different. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. Yolanda, you had your hand up earlier.
Thank you, June. And I would like to ask, what motivates you and your team that you work with to work with us with flesh bodies? And what do you hope to achieve?
Well, it is quite a simple question to answer, my friend. The reason we work with you is because you are us. You say you work with the people with the flesh bodies. I would say that I am just working with my spirit brothers and sisters. Now, why do we work with you? There is learning. There is the sharing of love, the most important reason. There is that sense that we are all discovering a little bit more about ourselves as we face the unique challenges of being in the physical body. So you as a physical form, you and the challenges of having a body that ultimately is dying from the day that you are born, that is a challenge. It is a challenge that we do not have. Here we are, removed from the aging process. And so we are like curious onlookers. And we could ask the question, I wonder how they will react to having an infirmity that will eventually cause them to rejoin us. I wonder how they will deal with the challenges of being disabled. I wonder how they deal with the challenges of being deaf, or being unable to speak, or unable to move. I wonder how they will deal with the challenges of racism or prejudice. I wonder how they will deal with the challenges of being married, of compromise. I wonder what they will do with the ability to love. How will they express their free will? How may we assist them should they choose to direct their gaze to the spirit world? Because you know that of all the people in your street, not everyone wishes to embrace that which they came from. For them, they live a material life, where materialism and the collection of things such as money, or cars, or property, that is their reason for living. And isn't it ironic that none of those things come with them to the spirit world? They die and they leave their things to other people who enjoy the fruits of their labor. But what of the fruits of spiritual growth? Those fruits that you get to taste when you bring them back with you. What of those gifts? So when you look about the compassion that you are developing within yourself, within your nature, those fruits come back with you. You cannot leave your compassion back on earth. You bring it with you, and it textures your very soul. It makes you better than you were. You maybe learn compromise. And if you are a person with strong opinions, compromising can seem like a step too far. But what if you learn it? What if you can spend your first day back in the spirit world reflecting upon all of the growth, of the good and the bad things that you said and thought? And do you not think that we do all of those things together? Even when you may shed tears, and you may say, I feel so alone. Nothing could be further from the truth. You will never, and I repeat, never ever be alone. Whether you call to us or not, we are there. We are the same as your shadow. Have you ever tried to run away from your shadow? And have you seen how it follows you everywhere? But at night time you may say, I no longer see my shadow. But it is there, like we are. Should you call us, we will be there. Should you refrain from doing so, we will be there. But the choice is always yours. It is always up to you to make a decision to say, I need help. I need you. So while you may be looking for the nearest fluffy cloud and seeing your spiritual ambassadors sitting there waiting for you, unless you call us, we will remain comfortable on our cloud. Do I answer your question, my friend?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You put your hand down now, Yolanda. Thank you. Pauline, would you like to ask your question? Pauline, you're muted. Can't hear you.
Sorry, I
Okay.
thought I muted it. Right. Sorry, hello.
Mm.
As we all have our own aura around us, do the organs within our body have their own aura? And if so, how does this affect us if we have a transplant, as this would be a vibration within us?
Yeah. My friend, as an organism, your energy field permeates every part of you. But this is energetic maladies will affect your organs and that essence of who you are. Your consciousness is still within these organs. So should you choose to donate a part of you, there is a memory within those organs. There is that essence that remains within. And we have to realize that of the various bodies that you have, that the physical is only one of them. And so as you experience your existence, and as your energy moves around the body, of course, in different ways, it can seem that as you take on infirmity, and as you bring disease upon maybe yourself through a lifestyle choice, it affects you on an energetic and a physical level. So let us use this analogy. The way that you think can affect the way that you become. The way that you live affects the way that you become. So if you are a person of a very, let us say, chirpy nature, if nothing is ever an issue, if peace seems to pervade you, you will notice that there is a much greater likelihood that your health is of a similar vein. That is not to say that anyone with a health issue has brought it onto themselves. But we also have to take responsibility and realize that as we think, we create. So let us think about the way that we treat our body. Let us think about the thoughts that emanate from this vehicle. How do you think about yourself? What do you say internally about yourself? Think about the consequences. People have the power to heal and also inflict injury upon themselves on an energetic level that transfers into the physical body. Now, whether you believe me or not, I do not seek to convince you. I seek to merely explain the facts as we understand them. So you can very much have an effect upon your body, both on this cellular level, but also on the whole. Now, the way that your body responds will be unique to the organ, but that essence of you can still remain within an organ that is transplanted. So, if you were to receive a transplanted organ, there is the possibility that within the cells, within the energy, within what after all is a living organism, that you could perceive the essence of the person who you received the organ or the limb from. And it has been experienced by people suddenly having a craving for something that was not within their taste. Now, it may raise more questions than it does answer. But does this go some way to answering your question, my friend?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Do you have anything else you wish to ask relating to this matter?
No, I think I understand what you said. Thank you.
What a wonderful question. Yeah.
Thank you.
We
Paul.
must
Yes,
also talk about the, let us refer to the lady that we spoke to just recently. When you explore healing and the guiding influence is working with you, you may think that they work on the physical body, but they are working on the energy version of your physical body, that which is a twin, a counterpart, a carbon copy, but on an energetic level. So as we work in the subtle energy, then that healing can be transferred to its physical equivalent. So you might say we work on the spooky liver or the spooky arm, and it is then reflected in healing received within the physical liver or the physical arm. We hope it makes sense. There is a correlation between the two ways.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else got a question at the moment? This is a great opportunity you've been given, so don't waste it.
If they wish to speak of the journey that they are on, we would encourage it. Let us be of help to one another.
Thank you. There you are. It's an offer you can't refuse.
Well, maybe they can if they express their free will.
Yeah, true, true, true. Okay,
Maybe
right.
it is a sense of curiosity. Let us look at this strange boy and those who work with him. Well, we could ask the question, why
have-
did you bother to come along, my friends? Was it just curiosity? Is there a burning question within your minds? Is there something you do not understand? Or do you just want to listen to an old man rattle off a few answers?
We have two questions for you now. So we'll take the first one. So that's for you, sir. I hope I've said that name correctly. So would you like to
Yes, it's Teresa. I forgot to sign in. Yes, I would like to ask a question. It's not just curiosity, because I have done been to trance sessions before and I really enjoyed it. My question is, I do know what road I'm on and I know where I need to go, but I'm scared of doing it. So it's how to get rid of the fear.
Well, my friend, we would say that you are very much in a club with many members. Do you know what is really the issue? It is the fear of your failure.
Yeah, I agree.
There we go. But let me say to you, if there were 100 people in this room and they watched you work with the spirit world in the way that you do, if they watched you share philosophy or give evidential readings to people, there will be some that love the bones that you walk around in. There will be some that will turn their nose up to you. But I would say, what of it? What is life if not a flurry, a cloud of opinions? Everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks that they are right, and are they all right? Well, of course they are not. They just have an opinion. But my friend, think of the great shame. If by doing something that you love, if it takes you forward on your journey, if you find a real compassion, a sense of purpose, and what if you keep your mouth quiet? Think of the great sadness, not only to those who would work with you, but for those who do not receive the benefit of your wisdom. And you are being of disservice to your very soul to say, I will worry more about what other people think than my own happiness.
And you know, if someone says to you, well, I do not agree with you, you did not bring through who I wanted to hear from, well, maybe you weren't the right person for them. But that is not your fault, and nor should you have to justify your existence to them. Do you not think that many times the boy has remained silent instead of speaking his truth? Just because he does this now does not mean that it was always this way. We had to drag him, kicking and screaming into the light and say, boy, we are with you. And only eventually did he listen. But it
Well,
made him a better man.
yeah. What it is with me, I've just completed a degree in human resources management, and that's the area I want to move into. Whether it becomes spiritual or not, I don't really know, but that's what I'm afraid of going forward with.
Well, what caused you to go down that path in the first place, my friend? Who are
Yeah,
you trying to please?
me.
Well, there we go. It's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But look, you know, if you went into work tomorrow and you went in there and your knees are shaking and you are panicking and sweating profusely,
Probably.
and you come home from work at the end of the day and you say, what was I worried about?
Mm,
It wasn't anything to be scared of. The fear of the unknown is greater than the reality of the experience.
yeah.
And therein lies the problem. You are scared of something that has not happened.
I am. Yeah.
Why are humans like this? Because you are human. You are worrying about something that might not happen.
Mm.
How about celebrating what probably will happen? Is that you may go into the office and people may say, look at this woman with these new ideas. This woman that is listening to me. This woman that is providing opportunities, giving a voice, solving problems, using her intellect and intelligence in a positive manner.
Mm. Yeah,
Think
you're
of the
right.
difference you can make, my friend, rather than the difference you might not make.
Mm. Yeah, thank you.
Good luck, my friend.
Thank you.
Hmm.
We have another question from Lydia, please. Thank you, Lydia. Would you like to ask your question?
Yes, I would like to ask whether it's possible through the boy that you can communicate with your spirit animals like dogs or other animals.
Hmm. So are you asking whether the boy communicates with them or whether you as a medium can communicate with them?
Both.
Hmm. Well, let us say, is the consciousness of your dog or cat or goldfish, is it there within the form?
Yes.
Are you conscious too, my friend?
Yes.
Are you able to formulate a thought or to paint a picture, to project an image towards that consciousness within the animal?
What do you mean exactly? Sorry.
Shall I answer the question for you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me say this, my friend. You know, as you send a thought to a loved one,
Mm-hmm.
do the same with your animal.
Mm.
How do you think that we communicate with anything that is conscious? First of all, my friend, you connect with something that is a great asset to you, and that is a loving heart. You know that you have a great deal of love to share. So when you start with this intention, that you are going to go into an experience with a sense of love for those that you communicate with, then you are halfway there. When you can make yourself receptive through trial and error, then you will start to hear in that internal spirit realm the wishes, the thoughts, the images, the emotions of anything. So you could feel the energy, the consciousness of the tree should you attune yourself to it. You can do the same with a cat or a dog or with a person. What you are, my friend, is that generous helping of humanity. But with that humanity, you have intelligence, you have love, you have an ability to paint a picture, to send an image with your mind screen. So you know, if I said to you, imagine Hus, you can picture him in your mind right now, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
And if I said to you, show him an image of you hugging him, could you do that?
Yes.
So when you are communicating with an animal, whether they are discarnate or incarnate, they can communicate you with that vibration of love, but also through the power of your mind. You are sharing thoughts, images, but you're doing so with love. The power that moves between you and an animal, my friend, is love, but it is also brought forward with respect. That animal is not bound to you, and it does not have to communicate with you. So you need to give that animal a reason to want to communicate. An animal has a choice. It can express its will. And even though humanity may see itself as the top of the evolutionary tree, but in many ways, that purity, the sanctity of an animal, is everything that a human should aspire to be. They do not judge you. They do not become angry with you for no good reason. They look at you with a sense of equanimity, a sense of a willingness to receive love and to share it. Have you ever noticed, my friend, how some people who look at animals with a sense of reverence, who have love in their heart before they even touch the animal, it is like they draw the animals to them, like there is a magnet, and they seem to gravitate to people like that. I know you would have experienced this yourself, my friend.
Yes.
So what do you think that they are picking up on?
Yeah, love.
They are picking up on love. An animal with a more basic brain in some ways has three choices: fight, flight, or freeze. If you scare it, it may freeze. If it feels your energy and it feels that it needs to escape from you, it may fight you before it flees. But if that animal feels a sense of love, it will not feel danger. If danger is not present, then it will relax and it will feel you. It will know you and it will want to spend time with you. Animals are very much more complicated and more sentient than maybe some people would have you believe. And the love that is shared between an animal and its owner My friend, that is a great power in itself. And let no person ever try to dissuade you any differently. And you know that as you have spoken with the boy, you know the truth of this statement as I share it with you. Have I helped you, my friend, in some way?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lydia. Bless you.
Mhm.
Has anyone else got a question? Otherwise, Pauline's got her hand up. If no one else has their hand up, Pauline, would you like to ask your question?
Hello. Can you talk about the ego? As I feel it's important for us while we're here, but I understand it leaves us once we pass the spirit.
Now, why would it leave you when you pass the spirit, my friend?
Well, that's
Let
what
me
someone,
explain my point
yeah,
of view. And of
yeah,
course, you are free to disagree, my friend, as we said at the beginning.
yeah.
The ego is your sense of identity, a sense of knowing yourself. It is to say that as you look into a mirror, who do you identify as? You will say, well, I am Pauline. It is your sense of who you see. It is a name that you have been given. But it is more than that. It becomes part of your psyche, part of your consciousness. And we know that consciousness does not die, so that when you are returned to the spirit realm, your sense of identity, who you are, who you see yourself as being, not the physical form, but everything that makes you who you are. This remains. This is part of that texturing of your soul, making yourself something greater than you once were. So the use of ego is not in and of itself a bad thing, something to get rid of. But if you become egotistical, that is a different matter. It is how you interact with the world around you. We would say one of the greatest ways of keeping your ego in check is to remain humble, is to look at people as your equal. Do not ever see yourself, no matter your position in life, as being superior to anything or anyone. So do not see yourself as superior to a beggar on the street. But conversely, do not see yourself as inferior to the monarch of your country or to your president or prime minister. You are equal to them in the eyes of the spiritual understanding. They only occupy a position of authority based upon the laws and the politics of your land. But as a spiritual being, my friend, they are nothing more than you. So when we retain a sense of humility, we understand that we are equal to all things. Then it also fosters the sense of I need to be respectful and mindful of how I think, I speak, and I act. So the way that you walk upon the earth, the way that you think about yourself, the way that you look at your neighbor, all of these things foster a sense of connectivity with each other, which brings a sense of humility, and it allows the ego, that sense of identity, to remain at a level where it does not unduly take you away from your true nature. And your true nature, if I may hazard a assumption, is that you are a loving person, that you seek to do things to be of the benefit to yourself, but also to others, and you do not seek to harm those around you. And I feel that I would be correct in saying these things, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, bless you.
So going on this journey, it isn't about suppressing yourself and saying, I am not worthy. You are as worthy as any other man or woman. But it is also having that sense of understanding that we are not better than either. And isn't life a great test? Sometimes you may see someone running at a brick wall, banging their head. And you may say to yourself, what a fool. But it is their choice. They are expressing their will. And if we approach it from a sense of we allow them to make their mistakes, because in the mistakes come the learning. In the learning comes reflection, and after reflection, we gain more wisdom. I hope I have in some way helped you understand, my friend.
Yes, you have. I obviously had got a bit mixed up over that. But can I also just ask then, so
Yes.
if the ego stays with us when we pass, so does that sort of go in a different direction to the fragment of the soul?
Well, it is all part of the same thing. The ego is
Same
part of
thing.
your consciousness, my friend. And so if your
Yeah,
consciousness has many different means of expressing itself, so you could say that there is a aspect of your consciousness that we will now call Pauline. But there is also an aspect of your consciousness that could be living a simultaneous life somewhere else.
yes,
So it is all consciousness. It is all a sense of identity, of culture, of your very existence. It is you being aware of who you are. So it is retained with you. It does not need to leave you because it is fundamentally who you are. So if you do not bring your physical form to the spirit world, then what do you bring? How
yeah,
do you exist? Through the fact that you are consciousness. And we communicate through the boy, not physically, but we impress upon him our consciousness into his consciousness. It is like two clouds meeting and not bumping against each other, but merging to become one greater cloud.
yes.
And at
I
some point,
understand
other clouds join us.
that.
I hope I have helped you to understand, my friend.
Yes, you have. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's the end of the questions. Thank you so very much, Spirit, for
Hmm.
helping us this evening. Bless you.
Well, as ever, my friends, the journey of life may present many challenges to you. Some of them may, in this very moment, seem insurmountable. But if you look back at your life, or right as far back as you can go, you will know that you have felt pain that you would not want to experience again. And in that moment, you thought that that pain would be more than you could possibly tolerate. And at that time, maybe it was the limit. But time has a funny habit of giving you perspective and the ability to heal. The human spirit is something that has more strength than you could possibly understand. Your willpower, your willingness to survive is fundamental in how we would describe what it is to be human. Every cell within your body wants to live. It wants to continue. It wants to experience life in all of its facets. And so you are stronger than you ever realized. Because inside you, there is that fire that burns eternally. That says that I want to continue. I want to carry on. And even when the body says something very different, the real you is not the you that you see in the mirror. It is the you that is inside you. It is the you that will carry on and one day join us up on our fluffy clouds, where we will play music on our harps and we will reminisce about the good old days. Joking aside, do not lose sight of the great strength and the privilege that you have to be that spiritual being occupying that human form. My friends, the privilege has really been ours. The opportunity to spend this time with you is not lost upon us. The fact that we may be able to touch your heart, to maybe give you food for thought, brings us great happiness. And as you go about your day, the next time you speak to someone, try to do it with that sense of humility and that sense of love for who they are. They may fail at what they try to do, but they are trying their best. And even if failure visits their life often, do not look down on them because of it. Life is a tough journey sometimes, but there are moments like when that sun rises or sets that you think, isn't it wonderful to be a human? And how we would love to swap places with you. My friends, go in peace, go with love in your heart, and may the blessings of the Great Spirit be with you always.
Thank you. I'm with you.
Thank you.